Okay, so good afternoon, YouTube, and thank you for joining me, showing all my goods right here. Um, I'm going to try to get on and get off, but everybody else gets on and voices their opinion about this whole Kanika Jenkins thing. So I feel like, why not? Why can't I do it too? Right? So I just want to start off by saying, I think that we all, as we became involved with this case, we became involved with good intentions. Um, I think that the bottom line for everyone is that we all wanted to see justice for Kanika. Um, Unfortunately, what I am saying is that through time, I became a part of a couple of groups, and through time, I began to see that people are fighting. Everyone wants to debunk everything that everyone else says instead of taking time out to look at it from each other's point of view. If we spent more time comparing information, spent more time trying to understand each other's points of views, perhaps this case would be solved much quicker. Um, there are a couple of aspects that I'd like to share. Um, the first thing is I'm sort of in between. Do I want to believe that this is a real case or do I not? Uh, I will say, prior to going any farther, that this is no means, am I in no means attempting to slander anyone and drag anyone through the mud. Neither am I attempting to uh, violate any copyright rules. From my understanding, we are able to share information on the basis of educating and investigating. And I plan to do just that. I will give a shout out to any and everyone whose videos or pictures that I will use. And I will say that my investigating has been to bare minimum. I have a very full schedule, and unfortunately, all I can do is wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and listen to everything that everyone else is putting in. With that being said, it's rather convenient. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers fighting and going back and forth. And let me tell you what's ridiculous about that, guys. I understand that you want to receive credit for the things that you found, the investigating that you've done. I understand that, hey, your time is well worth it. Okay. However, if someone is going in and they're taking a look at your work and they're taking a look at someone else's work and they're putting all the information that you guys have found, that they're able to put it together like pieces of a puzzle while you guys are continuously looking for more information, it makes it the job easier for everyone because it appears that everyone is doing something. But when everyone that is involved in this case is just digging in for information, guess what? That information just becomes this huge puzzle. Nobody's putting it together, so the information is just there. So it's really not serving anyone, it's not benefiting anyone. Okay. With that being said, I've seen quite a few things. Like I said, I don't have videos of my own, and for the fear of you guys jumping all over me, I'm going to try to keep going into your videos to a minimum. There will be a couple of occasions in which I will need to do so. Um, let's begin. Let's go back to the beginning of this whole Kanika Jenkins story. Um, one thing that bothered me was the the main. What was Irene's last name? Then one of the things that bothered me most was that video, that first video that we all saw with Irene Roberts. Nobody's really paying attention to it. But listen, you have to pay attention to everything. Okay? We have to pay, like I said, every little thing that's said, every little thing that is done, we have to pay attention to it, okay? And right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to locate a certain part because this is what drove me to believe that the friends were involved. If this case is really true, now they combine the two videos together. Oh wow. So they're doing all kinds of stuff. But let me see if this Monifa part. In the beginning of the video, Monifa gets on the camera. Okay, here we go. 29 to 29. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on to 27. And then I'm coming back to you. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm still learning how to do this stuff, so y'all gonna have to bear with me for just a second. Okay, here I am. And I'm going to share with you because I want you to see. Crap. Let me see if I can get back. Okay, we're gonna go here. And we're gonna go here. And now it's at 227, right? I'm gonna try to put it at 225 because I want you to see 221. I want you to see when Monifa gets on the camera. Listen, listen. Okay, let me see who you're talking to. Girl, I'm putting my face all on the camera. And then I want you to listen to what Irene tells her. Listen up. Did you have play any influence in this or what? Here, let's do it again. 211. No, 221. Okay, now let me tell you why this bothers me. Any influence into what? What is so secretive that Irene feels like, that Monifa feels like she needs to hide? Huh? What makes Monifa make the statement, girl, I'm putting my face all into this? What makes her do that? You have to ask. Like, what in the hell is going on? Right? Okay. So then here we go. A slew of things happen. Yeah, I'm looking a little rough, but excuse me. A slew of things happen. They go to the party. I'm not going to go into this video because I get too confused. What I will say is that, okay, so this video is posted. They make the statement, and then there's supposedly another video with Monifa walking around covering her hands. Well, let's see. What is Monifa's last name? So now let's take a look at Monifa. I don't know if I can find the video because I've never actually had this video, but I have seen it where she's walking around and she's covering her hands and she opens doors. Let's see if I can find it. If I can't, I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so then after seeing the video, okay, somebody's calling me. I'm gonna go ahead and close that out. I'm sorry. Um, I'm sure you guys know what video it is that I'm talking about, okay? I'm not gonna waste the entire day talking about it because I don't know where it is. I've only seen it once. But then that makes me wonder even more, what the hell is going on? What the hell are you trying to hide? Okay? So let me just give you a rundown of what I think happened. After watching that video of Irene's interview with Zach, I have come to believe, and Zach, if you see this, I apologize. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toe. Just calling things like I feel like they should be called. I feel like, Zach, you might have been at that party. Irene, I think that many people are on board with me. Irene, I feel like she was scared of Zach because she knows that she can't say things out of whack. But if you go back to that timestamp, what timestamp was it? 15:20. If you go to that timestamp on that video, 15:20. Oh, if you go to the timestamp of 15:20 on that video, you will hear Zach ask Irene, who came back for the phone? Who came back to the phone? Who came back for the phone? And this is Zach's channel that I will share with you. And I'm going to go really quickly. 15:20. I'm going to go to 15:07. I'm going to share my screen because I want you to see this. And I want you to listen. Okay, so here, let me go back. Let me go back. Because ain't no way in the world you're going to tell me she made a mistake. Monifa picked her up and took her out of the room. Who came back for the phone? Maya. She said it really quick. Maya. She wasn't saying Maya and Monifa. Maya came back for the phone. And then she comes back and she tries to correct herself. And she says, both of them left with her. But, and then Zach changes the subject. Listen carefully. Okay. How did she hit the lamp, fall to the bed, and then go to sleep? I'm sorry. She hits the lamp, she falls to the bed, and goes to sleep. Hmm. 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 Did something else happen to Kanika in that small period of time? I'm just saying. But keep on listening. She's in the hall with Monifa, and Maya goes back to get the phone. Zach even says, oh, so she's in the hall with Monifa. Listen, let's go back. I don't know. I just don't feel like, I feel like Monifa was left outside with Maya. I feel like Monifa was left outside with Maya while, no, Monifa was left outside with Kanika while Maya went back to get the phone. I feel like they had this thing set up. But then let me just twist off for a minute. Who is Kanika Martin or Kanika Jenkins? Who is she? We're talking about the city of Chicago is it's a crime capital. We all know that Rosemont is crooked. We know that the mayor is crooked, the police, the chief of police. We all know that they're all in together. Who is Kanika Martin to make these people want to concoct such a story to obliterate her? Who is she? So then I overheard, I was watching someone's video. I do apologize, I don't remember who. But then I heard that Kanika Martin used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm sorry, Kanika Jenkins. And here's the Atlanta Journal, um, which confirms that she did once live there. Then, if you go to her MySpace, Kenneka Jenkins. If I go to Kenneka Jenkins MySpace, it says that she lives somewhere else. And the point that I'm making is that it appears that she's moved around quite a bit. Now, I'm going to say this, and hopefully you guys don't jump all over me for this. But the Bible tells us that if we live by the sword, we die by the sword. And with that being said, I want to share this, guys. Kenneka's lifestyle was a rough one. She dealt with rough people. With that being said, things happen. Let's talk about Rosemont for a minute. If you go back to the history of Rosemont, I'm not going to give you the history. You'll have to go and read up. This part I have done on my own. But if you go back to the history of Rosemont, Rosemont's mayor was the longest standing mayor in the entire country. He established Rosemont, I think, back in 1969, and he was mayor for over 50 years. If you notice that all of the projects, the Cabrini Green, which was torn down like 10, 12 years ago, something like that, they had, those projects were known for, because they were drug infested. These projects were, they were for Black people. And there are stories all over the internet. If you go to YouTube and just type in Cabrini Green, you'll get all kinds of stories about things that have happened there. Rosemont's mayor was tied into that, of course. Well, then if you go back and you take a look at, you go back and you take a look at the police, I'll say the mayor, he passed away. And now that he's passed away, if I'm not mistaken, his son is now mayor. The chief of police is his cousin. The owners of the hotel are the cousins. And then what makes it more interesting is that, remember, Rosemont is a very densely populated city, or should I say town. But yet it has so much traffic. How did that come to be? It has a lot of traffic. It has the airport. It has all of these huge 5-star hotels. It has the civic centers. It's like all of this action is coming forth, right? Well, where does this money go? If all this money is coming into the city, where does this money go? Well, if you go back and you take a look, who owns stakes in the civic centers? Who owns stakes in the hotels? Who owns stakes? Who owns stakes? Well, all goes back to the same family. I'm not going to mention names. You'll have to read up on it. But I'm sure if you take the time to sit down and read, you will see the entire family is in on this together. So the bottom line is that when one loses, they all lose. Okay. So if you want to know, why would the hotel cover up this murder? Everybody says the same thing. You know, these white people, they hate Black people. You turn this into a racist thing all the time, so be it. Fine. I'm not down for it, but so be it. And they'll be glad. They'll be glad to just throw us in jail. Well, if they are proven to have played a part in this murder, what will happen? One will lose money. And if one loses money, they all will. How is that so? Well, let's say nobody wants to come into town and stay at that hotel. Then guess what? They're not necessarily going to use that civic center because why? Because it's out of convenience. It's not convenient for them. Okay. You have all these art shows, you have car shows, you have all these different shows that come into town. So just something to take into consideration. Also, if you think about the food service, there's a food service there that is designated sublimely for the convention center. Why? Well, guess what? Who loses money if they lose money? It's like there's a circle. There's a circle there. You have to go back and read about it because I'm not trying to get caught up in this foolishness. I like I said, just been reading up on it, been watching a lot of stuff that's going on, and I keep coming back to the same question. Who was Kenneka Jenkins for this huge mess to be made? Who is Kenneka Jenkins to make the police want to go and lie about what evidence they turned over to their mother? Who is Kenneka Jenkins to make the police want to lie about anything ever happening? Who was Kenneka Jenkins? Who was she? Who was she to make people want to go back and reenact her movement? Who was she? And then I have to ask myself, is this real? Now, many people want to jump all over me, but I'll tell you about this. I'm not going to get on here and act a fool because I love myself too much and I respect myself a little bit more than that. What I will tell you is, as an American, I am authorized, I have the authority to have my own opinions. And that's what I am doing. Now, yes, I think we are all in agreement that there was someone, a deceased person, in that freezer. However, I will tell you this. If the Rosemont Police Department is so corrupt that they can cover up a murder in the way that they've done and be so sloppy about it, who's to say that these pictures aren't a lie? Who's to say that these pictures aren't pictures from God knows when? Who's to say? Let me tell you something, and then I'm gonna leave it at this. That manager, when he walked in, um, walks into the kitchen, when he's supposedly going to find Kenneka, I find it strange. Did you see how many keys are on that keychain? Uh-huh. How many of you have several cars? You have a key to your garage. You have a key to the house. You have a key to your bedroom. You have a key to everything, right? How long does it take you to go through and pick that key out? To open the door. And just imagine once you go in and you open that door and you realize that there's a deceased person behind that door. Do you really think that it's only going to take you roughly 7 seconds to go and come back and that you're going to be as calm as he was? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And furthermore, why was he carrying a lock, a padlock in his hand? What was he doing with that lock? Where did that lock come from? My final statement is this. About 3 weeks ago, and oh my God, I'm beating myself up about this, but the fact that I didn't think to screen record it. 3 weeks ago, one of you made a post asking about whether Kenneka was really found in that kitchen, and I commented on the post. And in that video, you can see Teresa Martin looking up at the camera and pointing into it, just as she said in her statement. That video, ironically, is now nowhere to be found. Why? Where is that video? Tell me. And I'll tell you what, if this is a true case, who has Teresa Martin so intimidated that now she's doing everything she can to get people to back off? Thank you for joining me. And until next time, good night.